Hi, my name is Harry, and we are going to talk about Earth. This is episode 4 of Harry's Creation, and like I said back in episodes 2 and 3, I said a little bit about runaway greenhouse effect. That is the same thing that will happen to Earth in the future. As I said, that happens when it reaches the boiling point of water. That causes a lot of the molecules in the atmosphere to escape, and the sun rays heat the Earth up to about 1,000 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's bad. So, also, why that happens is because of the expanding sun. We'll talk about that in a future episode. I never mentioned this, but a planet also has layers. Like it has an atmosphere, the oceans, the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. The atmosphere contains of a lot of gases such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen, and other smoke and other pollutions like that. The oceans contain mostly of water, hydrogen, and oxygen, and a little bit more too. Once we dive down into the crust, that's where it starts to get warm, where sometimes you can actually see a lot of animals down there. I mean, basically that. Sometimes you can see people or trains running through there. Once we reach the mantle, this can reach the danger zone. At this point, not very many people could actually go down there mostly because of the extreme pressure. It'll be over 300 times greater than Earth's. Because of atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is because of the gravitational pull of the Earth, which pulls the atmosphere towards itself and gives a pressure on everything on the planet. So, soon we reach the outer core. It is mostly liquid. It could contain water. Well, I mean, probably not water, probably steam. And maybe possibly a little bit of oxygen. It's mostly liquid. It's not very well studied, but once we reach the inner core, it's mostly just hot metal. That metal could contain diamonds, that would be cool. So the layers of the Earth are pretty cool. Also, it has 5 oceans named Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern. The Pacific Ocean is the biggest of the ocean. It covers a lot of the Earth, as you can see on the globe. The Atlantic Ocean is kind of S-shaped. It splits in North America and Europe, and South America and Africa. Then we reach the Indian Ocean. That's usually near Australia, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, India, and Sri Lanka, and Madagascar. And you can usually see a type of phenomenon where there's these bright glowing in the Indian Ocean called bioluminescence. Sometimes they can be big enough to see from space. And I bet they would be pretty cool to see from satellite pictures. Now let's move to the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean is pretty much mostly ice. Because that's when you reach, it's above Canada and Alaska. And once you reach the Arctic regions where Russia, Alaska, and Greenland are, that's where the Arctic Ocean, or you could call it Ice Ocean, that's where it begins. The Southern Ocean begins on the ground near Antarctica, basically it just surrounds Antarctica, until it reaches countries like Chile and Argentina. The Earth's temperature, on average, is about 59 degrees. So, it's about 93 million miles away from the sun. Although it is habitable, it's not habitable enough. Instead of the 93 million miles, it should be 102 million miles. Well, but we're lucky because we have a good planet to live on. That is the end of our video. We'll see you next time on Harry's Creation. Our next video will be the moon, and our previous video was Venus. So the moon is the Earth's natural satellite, so don't think this is the end. Stay put.